Hello, I am Brian Downs, and this is a republic if you can keep it. Welcome back to the channel. I've been thinking about doodles. Yes, doodles, and how doodles are a microcosm of Donald Trump's demented ego. So, of course, as you know, the Epstein scandal boils on. Today is July 27th, 2025. It's getting close to 8 o'clock in the evening. Donald Trump is working very hard to pretend that he never met Jeffrey Epstein, a man who was his best and bestest pal for many years, and also, of course, the notorious sex trafficker who died in prison. The Wall Street Journal published an article claiming that Donald Trump had sent Jeffrey Epstein a birthday card for Epstein's 50th birthday some years ago. Donald Trump, of course, claims this isn't true. The famous birthday card, which, of course, you can read all about online, included a hand-drawn sketch or doodle of a nude woman by Donald Trump. The text of the card was certainly racy, bawdy, jocular, but not an admission of guilt or involvement in any kind of criminal activity. But never mind that. Donald Trump immediately said the card was a fake. This, of course, is ridiculous. It was found in a album of birthday cards that had been put together as a keepsake for Epstein by none other than Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's notorious accomplice, who herself was convicted on many sex trafficking charges and sentenced to 20 years in prison, which, at least at the time of this recording, she is now serving. The card, of course, is real. To claim that it's a fake is ridiculous. Trump claims that it's a fake. He claims those aren't my words and I don't draw pictures. Trump, of course, simply lies. He lies about everything. He seems to perhaps actually believe, and I've discussed this point before, he seems to believe that what he says becomes true because he said it. Or maybe not. Maybe he understands that he's lying. In any case, he told the world, I don't draw doodles. I don't draw pictures, except, of course, Donald Trump does draw pictures. It was quickly discovered by the internet that Donald Trump has often drawn doodles here and there and everywhere. He has even donated his doodles to charity auctions. Now, Donald Trump is a better doodler than I am. He certainly does doodle better than I ever done. But, so he has some skill there, got to admit it. But here's the story about the doodles. First, he puts them in personal birthday cards. Second, he auctions doodles off for charity and donates them to charity auctions because he's rather convinced, and by the way, he was right, that people were willing to pay thousands or tens of thousands of dollars for something that it took him 5 minutes to do with a Sharpie pen. Then, when it turns out that one of these doodles can be used to prove, and I say prove, except we're proving something that was already widely known, that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were great pals. In 2002, Donald Trump gave an interview where he said, I've known Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years, he's a terrific guy. So the doodle on the card itself proves what was already well known, that they were friends. But Donald Trump doesn't want anyone to think that. Not today. Not in this foggily benighted year of 2025. And so he says, I've never done a doodle in my life, even when his doodles have been auctioned for charity. The ego on this man, the insane hubris. A doodle I did of the New York skyline ought to be auctioned off for charity. Anyone should be delighted to own it at whatever inflated price. Oh, a doodle that's clearly my work and obviously from my hand? I've never doodled in my life, how dare you? And in fact, Donald Trump's "how dare you" is so loud and so emphatic that it has transmogrified into a lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal, its owner Rupert Murdoch. By the way, as of course you know, Rupert Murdoch being one of the people who had the most influence on Trump's political career by offering Trump the support of his various media outlets, Fox News notable among them. Donald Trump is suing Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, demanding $10 billion in damages on a slander suit, a libel suit, I beg your pardon, a libel suit, for bringing to the public's attention that Donald Trump once sent a birthday card to a man that the whole world knows was a close friend of his. The insane hubris. And of course, everyone knows that Donald Trump's ego is the monstrous engine that drives him. But I feel that there's value in studying the doodle and the history of the doodles and what it says about our doodler in chief. Of course, I've said this before and I'll close with saying it again. It's wonderful. It's wonderful, the Epstein scandal. It is the gift that never stops giving. Because this birthday card, this notorious and controversial birthday card, it's not the only one. The two men were great friends for many years. Videos keep popping up, yet more and more evidence. Here's Epstein as an honored guest at one of Trump's weddings. There will be other emails, cards, notes, evidence that those two were holding hands and walking toward the sunset together on Epstein's private island where he flew all those underage girls. Okay, you know the story. How is it that we live in this world